Namaste and welcome. Today's short practice is going to focus on being right here, right now, grounded in your body and the present moment. And so we'll start at the feet and really focus on connecting the feet to the earth. So at the front short edge of your mat, feet wider than hips. We'll start with a wider stance for stability. And we'll begin to rock forward and back, ball to heel. See how smooth you can make this motion. See how much you can stretch up into the toes, stretch the ankles and the calves as you're coming into the front of the foot. And then see how much you can stretch into the back of the heel and lift the toes and balls of the feet and really fan the toes out. And just more and more surface area of the entire foot connecting to the mat as we roll back and forth and finding ever greater balance as we stretch up onto the toes and sink back into the heels. Now let's move the weight to the outer and inner edges of the feet, right to left, inner to outer seam. Find greater surface area, connect to the earth. With that strong connection, then let's slowly gather our focus, our breath as we turn side to side. Just let those arms be heavy and swing. Try to be cognizant of releasing any tension from the shoulders or the torso as we create this strong base and that strong rooted connection with the feet. And then we'll bring the feet in. So they're approximately under the hips now. And we'll stretch forward up onto the toes, the balls of the feet, back into the heels. Continue that rolling motion. Fanning the toes as much as possible, creating that wide base to support a strong mountain pose here. So most of us need to root those femurs back a bit deeper in the hips. So thinking about anchoring down into the back center of the heel. And then the sitting bones of the pelvis should line up right over the back of that heel of the foot. And then we're going to connect the heels of the bone at the base of the skull, the occipital bone. So we're dropping a line from the occipital heels at the ridge of the skull, pressing our thumbs in there, down to the sitting bones, which are the pelvic heels of the pelvic bone, into the actual heels, center of the heel of the foot into the floor. So connecting those spots, really elongating along those lines. The occipital heels pressing up at their thumbs, gentle pressure there. And the pelvic heels and the heels of the feet sinking down. Also thinking about moving those elbows back, opening that chest and pressing the base of your skull into your hands so that the head's aligned for your mountain. Then let's inhale, reach up. Pause at the top of that inhale. Make sure we lift the lower rib cage away from the upper pelvis. And then we'll let that left arm come down. Right arm's going to reach up. We'll turn toward it and breathe into the lateral body. Expand those side ribs. Just feels good to create some space between the side ribs. Open the side body, but still stay so rooted at the feet. Then we'll inhale straight up, palms facing each other at shoulder width. Lift the rib cage on a second inhale. Exhale the right arm down. The left arm is strongly lifted. And we turn our gaze and breathe, opening the lateral body. Deep, full inhalation, diaphragmatic breathing, inner body lighting up, and that grace expanding outward. Feet stay rooted. Just feels good. Right here, right now. The arms release back down. I'll once again stretch up onto the toes, strengthen the ankles, sink back into the heels, then find center slowly, smoothly. Create a nice rhythmic movement, swinging arms side to side as we turn the spine. Just enjoying finding just the optimal alignment for us, rolling the shoulders back, releasing the arms. And then once again, connecting to the occipital heels, pressing them into the thumbs, a little hollow there under the ridge or the base of the skull, opening the elbows, pressing the head back. Taking a breath here, connecting the occipital heels to the pelvic heels, to the heels of the feet. Feeling expansive, feeling rooted. Breathing in, breathing out. Without losing that focus on the feet and staying really grounded and connected to the earth, we will start to flow gently with our inhales and exhales. Being really mindful of staying grounded and present in the feet. One more time, bringing the thumbs to the occipital heels, pressing the base of the skull back into the fingers, opening the elbows wide so the chest opens, breathing deep and full, and the feet staying rooted, especially on those exhales. Connecting the occipital heels, rising up with a straight line to the pelvic heels and the heels of the feet, rooting down. Release the arms. Once again, just trying to soften the shoulders. And then inhaling, we'll take it up. Palms facing each other at shoulder width. Lift that lower rib cage. Gently lift the heart, but stay true and rooted at the feet. And then a slow descent, deepening the groins. I'm taking my fingers there to show you. Bending the knees, then holding the elbows. Weight of the head pulls the spine toward the earth. The belly softens towards the thighs. We breathe deep and full. Keep the feet connected and just let the spine sway side to side. Breathing into the lateral body again. Releasing the elbows. Press your palms down into the floor or the feet or shins. And extend out through the crown of the head, looking out at the floor in front of you. So the chest is parallel to the floor. We have half Uttanasana here. And then chin to sternum, arms come behind the legs. And we fold. Only going as far as works for us. Breathing into that edge. And then returning to knees bent, soft groins hanging. Holding the elbows, head heavy. Let that spine and neck release. Feel safe, rooted at the feet. And gently side to side. Letting the arms and the shoulders gently swing side to side. Breathing into the lateral body. Coming back to center. Release the elbows. Press the hands down into the floor, the feet or the shins. Extend the spine away from the hips, straightening the legs. Keep those feet rooted. Feel that energy working up through the feet, through the lifted arch, the quadricep engaging, lifting the kneecap, the femurs moving back into the hamstrings as the crown of the head extends forward. And then exhale, chin to sternum, arms come to the backs of the calves, and we fold, going only as far as works for us, letting the grace of the breath take us deeper. We bend the knees, we hold the elbows, we hang. The weight of the head is really drawing the spine down. The sitting bones are sinking down. The belly's breathing toward the thighs, and we turn gently side to side. Take your breath to your lateral body as you do so. Soften the shoulders or the neck. Stay rooted at the feet. Release the elbows. Press the palms into the floor, the feet or the shins. Extend through the crown of the head so the spine lengthens and elongates away from those broadening sitting bones. Feel the backs of the legs light up, feet still rooted, grounded in this moment. Find your breath, collect your attention there. Exhale, chin to sternum. Arms come to the backs of the legs, fold. The back body's broad and long. Now, let's take those hips back, bend the knees, reach the arms back, chest forward, and then come into powerful pose, Utkatasana. Let the thighs move toward one another. Let the groins deepen. Let the sitting bones sink down. always reaching through the arms to lengthen the spine. Now, let's come up onto the toes again. Stretch those ankles, work those feet. The arms reach back, the heart is open, and then the arms reach forward, the hips sink down. We return to Utkatasana. So we're going to flow through this again. So really paying attention to our feet. As we come up onto the toes, the spine presses forward, extension. And as we exhale, the hips sink down, the arms come in line with the ears. And one more time, stretching up, opening the heart, strengthening the feet and the ankles, exhaling, sinking down, lowering the hips, taking the arms in line with the ears and the belly button toward the spine. Exhale into your hang, soft, deep groins. Nice, easy breath, heavy head. And then press hands into floor, feet or shins. Extend through the spine, chest parallel to the mat. Make sure those feet are equally and evenly connected to the earth. The inner arch is lifted, the quadricep is lifted, the legs are alive. Exhale, chin to sternum and fold. Let the breath take you where you should be. And then we're going back, arms reaching back, hips reaching back, knees bend, and then we find Utkatasana, arms in line with the ears. Make sure that belly button's drawn to the back body to support you. Knees and thighs working to squeeze toward one another. Nice deep groins, and I'm going to drive the left foot back through the strength of the hip and come into a high lunge. So I'll be on the ball of the back foot. Cactus arms to keep the heart open, and then reaching straight up if the shoulders allow. Palms at shoulder width. Nice full deep breath here. Feel the strength of the legs. Exhale. Hands back to hips. Pull that back foot forward with the strength of the core. Find your mountain. Connect the feet. And then sink down. Deep groins. Arms in line with ears. Powerful pose. Pull the belly button to the spine. Hands come to hips. Using the power of the left hip, drive the left foot back. Be on the ball of the back foot, pressing back through the left heel, cactus arms. And inhale, reaching up if the shoulders allow. If that's too much tension, stay with cactus arms. Keep the heart open, breathing. Exhale, hands to hips. Draw that back foot forward with the strength of the core. Stretch and roll into the balls and heels. Reset, realign, starting at the feet, starting at being grounded as much as possible there. And then allowing that alignment to move upwards from the earth to support us. Rolling the shoulders back, letting the arms be heavy. Making sure that the hips feel settled, even, balanced, and then taking the thumbs in to those little indentations, those little hollows right at the occipital ridge. Moving the base of the skull and the head back into the hands, broadening the elbows, opening the chest, taking a full deep breath. This moment, right now. Then releasing the arms. Inhale, straight overhead. Lift that lower rib cage away from the pelvis. Exhale. Left arm comes down, left hand to your belly, right arm's up, turn and look. Lift and breathe. Lateral body opens. Soften the opposite shoulder to the earth as you exhale. Stay grounded at the feet. Release. Inhale, reaching both arms up. Lifting the lower rib cage away from the hips. Exhale, and we'll let the right arm come down. The right arm, right hand will come to the belly. We'll turn. Look at that left arm. Look up, lift, open the lateral body with our breath. Stay rooted at the feet, the lower body. Soften the opposite shoulder. Exhale, both hands to belly. Breathe into the belly. Hands move up. Breathe into the solar plexus. Hands move up to the heart. Breathe into the heart. Exhale. Arms heavy at your sides, shoulders rolled back, feet rooted. Right here, right now. Present and grounded. Feeling refreshed as the breath has moved through the body. Bringing the hands to the heart, elbows out wide, pressing the palms together. We'll be shifting to the center of our mat and opening up into a wide stance, extending those arms out wide. After we roll back and forth on the feet a couple of times. Let's bring the thumbs to the occipital heel. Open the chest as we have been doing. Really press the head back. And then those arms extend out wide, and we want the feet to come out underneath the wrists. So we have a wide enough stance here to support us. And we're going to start with Prasarita Tanasana. So we're just going to fold from here. Now I want to connect the whole foot and keep it connected. And I want that inner arch to lift. I want the quadricep to lift the kneecap. And I'm going to use my fingers to lift my sitting bones, broaden my sacrum, and then just release my head toward the mat. So sometimes you find that you may want to hold the elbows and hang. Or sometimes you might find that you want to press the hands in. That's up to you. Press the hands into the floor. Well, we will move to pressing the hands into the floor, bringing the chest parallel after a breath or two, and then add a twist. So I'm pressing down strongly into the right hand, keeping that spine elongated, and then reaching up. Keeping my head in alignment with the spine, I'm pressing into the feet, pulling energy up through the inner seam of the legs, and then extending it out through the spine and across the arms. I'm going to switch hands here. Right arms pressing down. I'm turning my gaze slowly so I don't bring the head and neck out of alignment. Really opening the chest, but I'm staying rooted at the feet, pressing into them. I feel the energy run up the inner seam of the leg, and then I pull it through the spine and across the heart. Exhale. Return to a fold here. So either elbows, holding those elbows and hanging, or pressing the hands into the floor or block, whatever seems to support you the most, where the legs feel strong, the sacrum broad, and the spine really soft and easy. And then hands will come to hips, and we'll use the strength of the legs and core to come up. And we're going to be going into a warrior two stance. So we're going to want to revolve that right hip open, pivot on the right heel, turn it out 90 degrees. I'm going to take the back foot about half that, really press the femur of the left foot back into the hamstring, maybe bend the knee and then straighten it. I'm going to bend the right knee fully over the ankle, extend those arms out. They're extensions of the collarbones. Deep, full breath. Strongly rooted feet, strong legs. And then we're going to take reverse warrior. I'm bringing my hand to the belly and the side gills, breathing into that lateral body. Inhaling, pressing the heart forward, lifting the gaze in the heart. And then exhaling over to Prasarita, really revolving the chest toward the ceiling, reaching overhead, creating a nice long line through the reach of the hands from that back foot being rooted. Return to warrior two, straighten the knee, and turn the feet. We will come back to Prasarita Tanasana. Take a breather here before we go to the other side. Again, either holding elbows and hanging or pressing into the floor or block. Keep those legs strong and active, feet rooted. Let the spine release, relax. Let the head be heavy. Let the shoulders soften. And then strength of the legs and the core. Inhale, draw yourself up. And we take this warrior two stance to the left-hand side. So my left hip rotates open and I pivot on the left heel and turn that foot out a full 90 degrees. And that left knee is going to bend over the ankle. And the back foot's going to turn in slightly. We're really going to press the femur back into the hip, back into the hamstring, and root that back leg. Arms extend out. They open the chest. Inhale, reverse warrior. I'm going to bring my hand to my side body. Breathe into it. Inhale and lift and open that heart. Lift that gaze. And then exhale. I'm going to revolve. Reach overhead. Get those side ribs and the chest to move toward the ceiling. Create that nice long line from the right foot through the outstretched fingertips. And then return to Warrior Two. And then straighten the knee. Back to Prasarita Tanasana, where we'll fold one last time. Connected at the inner and outer ball mounts, connected in the center of the heel. So the inner arch lifts, so the quadricep lifts. So all that energy comes up the legs, through the pelvis, and then releases through a heavy head. Spine soft and supple toward the earth. Nice long exhale. Nice long inhale. Hands come to hips. Strength of legs and core. Draw us up. And we will heel toe to bring those feet back in underneath us. Stretch up onto the toes. Rock back into the heels. Return to a mountain pose alignment. Soften the shoulders. Going back to any of those things we did at the beginning of our series, if they would help you to find a nice alignment. And then bringing the thumbs to the occipital heels, that ridge. Pressing the head back into the hands, elbows wide so that heart's open, so that thoracic spine really comes into alignment. And then settling the arms down, softening the shoulders, nice long neck. Breathing in, breathing out. Hands together at the heart. So we'll transition to the floor to finish off here. We're going to start on the back, knees bent. I'm going to take the arms out wide. I'm going to wiggle on the back body, kind of like a dog would. And I'm going to take the hands and pull the shoulder blades down, smooth the buttock skin out of the way so I can feel the shoulder blades and sacrum root. I'm going to turn the head side to side. Just take a nice long exhale at each side, stretching the sides of the neck long, and then finding center as I come back onto the base of the skull. Press my palms down to activate and open the chest. And I'm going to take my right foot to my left thigh. Little thread the needle here, but I'm just working that knee away from me, keeping the foot flexed. And then I'm going to cross it all the way over. Let the hips draw back as that right knee crosses over to the left side. Here, that opposite shoulder is so important. It needs to stay anchored. It needs to be heavy against the earth. And then it's just all about the breath, collecting your attention with the breath. Perhaps turning the head side to side, finding where you can release the shoulders best. And then coming back to center. Taking a breath at center. Feel the difference between the two sides. Extend the arms out, press the palms down. And then bending the left foot, the left knee, bring it to the right thigh. A little thread the needle. Just feeling a stretch of that outer glute hip. And then crossing the leg over, pulling the hip back toward the left side as we drop the knees to the right. Perhaps turning your head, breathing in, breathing out. Just finding a way to release, to let that anchoring shoulder blade be heavy, connected to the earth, grounded, softening the tongue away from the teeth. Letting go of any tension. Coming back. Hands to the belly, knees bent, taking your breath here. Hug the knees in. And once again, connecting the back body. I'm going to rock side to side. So I just want to feel that I can get as much surface area as possible. Meeting with and connecting to the mat, my back body and the mat as I roll side to side and breathe. And then I'm going to come into happy baby. So I want to bring the knees toward the armpits, hold to the outer edge of the foot. Deepen into those hips and then see how much I can straighten the legs, pressing those heels out, keeping my sacrum and shoulder blades grounded. So that's going to be real intense stretch through those inner thighs. Only go as far as works for you. Then bring it back in, hugging the knees, rocking side to side, grounding. and connecting the feet to the floor, knees bent, adjusting the back body. Feeling the shoulder blades, the sacrum, heavy, the low back broadens if we drop the knees together. And then we extend the feet far away from the hips, bring the big toes together, let the feet drop open. Just going through a series of progression here of just making, again, as much surface area of the back body as possible connect to your mat, to ground into the entire back body here. This becoming your Savasana, making sure that the arms and legs feel loose, the neck feels aligned, the back of the head, that occipital edge and skull really heavy, again sinking into the earth. And just letting go into that back body, into that grounding. Feel the earth holding you. Feel its unconditional support. And stay with it. Stay here as long as it feels good to you. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Nothing to be. Just this moment. Grounded. Present with your breath. At peace.